There's no shame in being in competition.
It's healthy.
Today, if we have a company that there's no competitor and we don't have the mindset, we will eventually get somebody to overcome us. Having a competition makes you better. I mean, look at every single sport.
Hello, hello, beautiful world. Patrick Samaha is the man when it comes to marketing and advertising in the Middle East. He's the co-founder and CEO of Amada Group, a group of media, e-commerce and tech-based companies that provides end-to-end solutions to their clients. Back then, when satellite television changed the world, Patrick's curiosity led him to the source, allowing him to understand the world of advertisements and marketing. In this podcast, I want to discuss the influence of satellite television on today's marketing, as well as Patrick's career, and explain what makes him such a pioneer. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you very much. That's the first.
Is that right?
It's very right. Great homework. To come to the point is satellite. I mean, was the biggest, first transformation in media that we've seen in this region at least, and hopefully mostly in the world as well. That gave us a lot of drive. That gave us a lot of understanding of what is happening around the world. I mean, when you are in the 80s or the 70s, the only way you can experience culture from abroad was either reading a book or traveling to that place.
And you're not a reader.
I
got to know you before.
Yes,
I'm never talking to my guests.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. Don't worry, I'll share that experience. And satellite was one of the first breakthroughs where it allowed us to as a community, to all see a singular thing. And that's one of the nicest things that satellite brought to us. And we got imported a lot of entertainment from a Western culture as well, or Asian culture, or other Arab culture, or European culture. And satellite was the thing in media or advertising. So you have what we call a community watching the same thing at the same time, and that felt a lot of closeness. Whether it was sports, I mean, that was a big thing when it happens in sports, entertainment, reality shows, and so much more. So that was for me very intriguing. When I was in college, I want this industry. I want this to be part of that excitement. I want to be part of what's happening around the world, and that's why it led me to start the advertising or the media career, or what I call a media career, what I have today.
But you brought MTV to Arabia.
You brought MTV is a big word. I think we were lucky enough to be part of MTV. I was very adamant about making sure the reality of what MTV was to me when I was a teenager.
It inspired me to do this, what I do today.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's as big as it was before because of the transformation and the digital world. But in the post-millennium, music was still a big thing, but it was very much changing because of digital technologies and piracy and streaming services and downloading music, whether it's correct or in a pirated way. But MTV was more than just a music channel for me. It was a bit more into the lifestyle, into this, the evolution of society. It was always different. It was always behind a cause. It was always something that you can't have. It's just you can always look at. And then we were in 2006, 2007, finalizing the project of launching one of the largest music televisions in the world, which is targeting all the Arab region. And I was fortunate enough to be part of that team, to lead that channel, to make it for the Arab region. And it was very important as well in our time where we needed more unity, and I feel music was a great way to get more unity, and people expressing themselves into music was a really important aspect of the community in the Arab world. Then also we started working a lot on philanthropy with MTV, and we made a project with the United Nations called Youth Against Political Radicalization, or if we make it shorter, is carry a guitar instead of carrying a gun or something like that. So it was really like a mindset. It was more of a belief in music, belief in cutting edge transformation of your mind being something that you are born with a talent or having a talent or making a talent, definitely skewed into music or entertainment.
Yeah.
So MTV was like in me, and it was like a dream come true to be like so young running a channel like MTV. And it was one of my favorite experiences of all time, basically.
I love the way you talk about it.
It
I can
was
see that it
really-
really inspired you, but you also said you had to tailor-made it to the Arabian market, because I remember MTV. I mean, I came with the F word. It also had like the ripped jeans. I tried to be the ghetto girl that I was actually,
Yes.
the perception of MTV was different than you probably had to bring it to the to Arabian world.
Well, there's a lot of Western culture that was forced upon a new market or an emerging market. Like, let's take an example like the Middle East. And with MTV, it was a bit more like welcoming to open a new culture and export it from the region to the Western world. And I feel that was the power of MTV, and that was the power of what we stand for in Dubai as well. It's like, it's not about importing things, it's also about exporting things, whether it's an idea or music or a culture. And I was always a fan about like this best of both worlds. And one of the first shows we've done was an actual hip hop show in Arabic. It was crazy.
And they rap in Arabic?
Rap, I mean, insanely good in Arabic. So we wanted to put that kind of idea and to introduce rap or hip hop in Arabic. And it was really very famous. We got a lot of great producers, a lot of great artists to help us from the States and from Saudi Arabia and from Emirates and from Lebanon and from Egypt. And we've built like this phenomena around this mix and match, let's put it this way. And what works well here can actually work well outside. So we were involved a lot in music, trying to transform Arab stars also in the Western world. And like in the EMAs or the States, all these music awards that happened by MTV. And it was very important for us to like not just adopt what was given by the Western world, but also for them to adopt what is also given by the Arab world or the Middle Eastern part of it, because we have a lot of history.
Yeah.
It's very old, it's very authentic.
You have a history, but the US doesn't have a big history, and it's interesting how you mixed it. But it's still, there is a culture.
Yes.
It's a big culture, and there's still a lot of respect because you know what you're presenting to your viewers.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that we wanted to tap on is to create acceptance, because there's tradition here against like new things, like extravagant things like music, or especially what MTV was. It's like MTV was always like challenge the situation, be different, be
yourself.
Be
That's
yourself,
always like
take yourself further than what you are. And it wasn't like very much a big mindset in this region. But we wanted to make it acceptable. So we did a lot of diplomacy around it. So I was, I think, in hundreds of schools and universities. We met many ministers of culture. We wanted to be very much accepted, and we wanted to get the gatekeeper, let's put it this way, which is the parent, to say, okay, MTV is not the MTV that we don't like, it's the MTV that we want you to follow.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change you for the better. And that was the biggest or the hardest job that we had to create, because we have this phenomenal, strong brand, but extremely free in its opinion.
Yeah.
And you have also a strong culture here that is extremely, stuck on one opinion. And we just wanted to get these two to be together. And it was very difficult. But once we went out and we asked for respect, or asked for acceptance, sorry, not respect, people respected us more. The culture adopted us faster. And it was really fascinating how we felt the hope around us. And everybody's like got so excited that, okay, this is happening, guys. Let's just go with it. And just make sure there's always in our heads that this is a new culture and this is the culture we are brought up with. Everybody that was working with MTV was an Arab, mostly. We had some great help from our international officers, great people, amazing experience. But the juice, the reality was all from people that lives in this Middle
But you
East
never
region.
lived in fear, thinking like, what if it goes wrong and I did a huge disaster? Because this actually has to go to the history books.
Yes.
You're one of the guys who changed the world forever in the Middle East. Because
Well-
you brought the MTV, you were the CEO back then.
Yeah,
So
I
all
was
the
I
decisions
was a
were
general
made by
manager.
you.
I was running the company, working with Viacom, obviously in UK and their emerging markets team. I had a lot of help. I mean, I had no television experience before MTV. I was really like zero knowledge in actual technical experience in television, and I learned something that Richard Branson said is like, if you get a new opportunity, take it and then learn how to do it as you go along. And it was like in my head every single day.
Walk your talk.
Absolutely. And funny enough, and he's like said, it was a great opportunity. God bless the people that appointed me. And it was a great learning experience. I've learned a lot. I mean, it was failure and success at the same time as well. And doing that, launching MTV Arabia, it was a great story. I mean, even the logo, we changed it from left to right to left, like following the Arabic language. And we had to like go in so many approvals, trying to say, okay, we're going to change the logos. Like, who better than MTV to say, yes, we can change the logo to adopt the culture? And that was
Huge.
that was the essence and the beauty of that brand, is they wanted to adopt. They wanted to lead by the culture they are in instead of like force a culture they have. And that was the best part of that company. And that's why we as kids or as teenagers, we were very fascinated. And they're like, we are they call it the MTV generation.
Yeah.
And that was the best part of, my experience with MTV. Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy. I mean, it's one of the best stories I have. I think it's the only thing I have hanged in my office is this MTV frame that I got from the team.
And I took a picture.
Yeah,
Because it's
you
worth
took
it.
a picture. It's worth it. It's really a great experience, and it was a perfect time for the region as well. Especially, we were so fortunate that Dubai wanted to create this product from a private TV network as well, and it was one of my personal best experience. We've had a great time. I mean, we've worked like literally 20 hours a day. I mean, I remember stories that are insanely like challenging, getting artists here, getting like a big star like Akon to Dubai when we launched music television, which was insane. I mean, he was one of the best figures to come here. We got, I think, Ludacris as well in the show, Tim Cash, one of the
You
VJs.
introduced them to the
Yeah,
American
but they came
world.
here the first time, I think, to Dubai as well. And it was very fascinating to get these people. We've done a great launch party, and it was a great, few years until like this big crisis happened in the world, the housing crisis, and it started to affect the whole world. And in parallel, the digital economy started to change the perception of television, and the consumption
switched.
as well of television.
Yeah, from the big screen, you got the small screen.
Yes.
Which is actually this.
Yeah, leading to the smartphones, basically. That
but-
was the time where the social media started then. I mean, 2007, I think, when we launched MTV, Facebook was becoming global. And it was insane. Like, we never expected that something like this to happen, People that are on social media.
But you see, you also have seen the switch that people had to earn back then to be famous or to be on a screen like MTV. And today, everyone is on a screen. You don't have to earn it. You just do like, sometimes it's good content, sometimes it's stupid content, and you're already famous for whatever you do. How do you relate to that? And from the marketing perspective, what could you also give to the newer generation, how to put them in the right light?
I don't know if that example will explain it, but I'll give you. It's like ski and snowboard.
I don't do both.
So okay, let me explain. To learn skiing on the snow is easier than learning snowboard. But it's easier to be a great snowboarder than to be a great skier. And the same thing for me is like this shift of social media. Everybody today can be someone on social media, but what we are ending up with is many someones.
Yeah.
And also social media has shown us through platforms like TikTok as well, is like there's a lot of people that were no one that became, big influencers, celebrities with great causes, and some with like unnecessary causes as well. Back then we didn't know. back in 2007, we had no idea how to cope with this. We were all learning. We had no experience in transforming into a world where our customer is consuming social media as well. And they were on these platforms. And these platforms were built only to acquire subscribers.
Yeah.
Not about joining brands. It wasn't more about a brand culture associated with social media. It was only people. They were looking for people to follow them. So for them, they are creating a platform where they own no content, and the people are putting the contents. Like, it's made, social media is called social media is because it's made by social people. By people. There's nothing else in social media, in content, other than social.
But people can choose what they want to follow.
They can choose what to...
Back then, it was not possible.
It was, it was easy to post things. I mean, Facebook or Twitter in the beginning were like the most, or YouTube were the most, successful ones. And everybody wanted to like share their opinion, share their story. And what great thing came out of social media is a challenge to the 50, 60-year-old television mindset. And the link that people started to create for each other. So if television was a great link for people to together at the same time watch a football match or watch a movie or watch a new release, they came together. Social media became the other come together.
Oh, that's the downside, actually. But people would be like, I mean, on the winning side, you have people gathering together to enjoy something on the screen. And now because it's accessible, you do it by yourself. You want to be alone, just scrolling down the social media. And that also has an influence on your mindset.
It had influence on a lot of things. It had influence on... First of all, I think it had great influence in places where a lot of people started to learn new things. I mean, you've got all these people who understand like codes, who are understanding a lot of small lessons in life instead of like one big chapter of life. Mm-hmm. So there's many people who started to figure out many small things. Versus before, if you had to learn something, you have to do it like in a full thing, like read a book, go to class, study something from A to Z. Mm-hmm. On social media, it became like they became experts in many things, not in one big thing, And that was like something very new for society to pass through. I don't know if it was helpful or not. I mean, I'm not against social media. I think being connected is great. Yeah. Being mobile, spending time on social media is also healthy if it is managed well, if it is, scrolling through the right content, if it is not used for harm. It's also some great experience you get out of social media. I've learned a lot. I mean, not learned, but I've found some new things on social media just because I scroll social media currently today. So I don't think it's bad. I think anything excess is bad. If you are excess on social media or excess on food or anything is bad. So moderate consumption of social media is quite actually healthy.
Yeah, because you can learn. But you as a marketing king, so
not really, but marketing in the marketing world.
In the marketing world, I call you a king if it's fine, because I know where you come from. You made yourself up to the top. So do you think that it's better to live social media or to study social media in order to do marketing in this world?
Look, it's a very good question. You need to be both. I don't think an expert in social media can be an expert by not consuming social media. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe anyone who doesn't...
Or producing something for social media.
Yeah, or producing something. I mean, I think it's like being part of what you're preaching is very important, or else you will never be able to understand both sides of the story. Mm-hmm. I could be an expert in marketing, but if I've never experienced marketing, I cannot preach it. For me, I like, let's put football, for example. If there's a coach that is coaching a football team and he was a player, I think he will be a better coach. Because he was a player. He understood, he played the game.
He played the game, yeah.
So he would have great backup coaches or second, third coaches with them that not necessarily played the game, but they're more scientifically or academically into the coaching. Mm-hmm. I believe in the principle of being a player and becoming a coach is good. And same thing with business as well. So if you were on the ground and then you start creating products, but you relate to them, you understand them, it will help you identify the need and the actual product. So you understand the supply and the demand, or the customer and and the consumer and the company and the brand and the product and the technology. So it's very important for you to be complete around it. So yes, it is very crucial. If you want to have a podcast, you need to understand how to present. You need to understand how production works. You need to understand how editing works. You know, unless you are a presenter, you're not a podcaster anymore.
Because then you can correct the people who work for you.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
And the best podcasters today are people who, like you, I mean, it's fascinating. You do everything yourself, or you are able to do everything yourself. But that's a great way to fix it. It's time-consuming. It is time-consuming. Look, eventually you will grow out of it, and you outsource it. You'll get people to help, but you know how it's done, and that's very crucial. And most of these podcasts, you see them in a very homey situation, and you think it's so easy, but it actually is not. It's like insanely difficult. Yeah. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of people that goes around creating a podcast today. Yeah. The right podcast.
Yeah. It's always, when something is new, people look at you and be like, do you really think it's going to work? It takes years and years, and you always have to get up again and show them again that it's work. And one day, when it's the X day, then they see the success and they're like, oh, now I see what they're talking about, you know? But it always takes years.
Look,
of work.
There's a saying. I mean, I believe that success is also continuity and failure is closure. You know, and that's the definitive thing about either. Yeah. You know, if you want to be successful, you need to continue. You will not know when you define your success until this moment of shift. Yeah. But when you close, you failed. Closure is failure. Yeah. And you know, people will encourage you or discourage you, it doesn't matter. It's self-courage, it's self-motivation. It has to be extremely high. You have to be completely disciplined that you're going to achieve these results. I mean, you're going to meet people who are going to tell you, oh, this is useless, this is ridiculous. You're going to meet people who's going to encourage you just because they like you, or they encourage you because they like your content. It doesn't matter to you. What matters to you is that you're doing something that is valuable, first to you, to your audience, to your guest, and is needed and is different to be out there.
Yeah. But you're also advising companies. And I see that why, because you have such a big experience. And knowing all this for another company, it's hard to explain them from your perspective. And I know that you're working also closely with a company in Switzerland, and that's our connection, and I love that. It's the Brame company, and everyone knows that in Switzerland who Brame is. Gamification marketing, it's a big thing that it's coming now. And you're trying to sell that also to other companies so they understand what it means to let a consumer play a game before they actually purchase something, because everything is marketing. And how do you see a link to the customer and to the company and with this gamification marketing to bring everything together?
Well, when I started being on my own, I left the corporate world, and, you know, we built a business with, you know, amazing partners I have, and we built a media and an ad tech company, and you know, it's doing great. Where we help companies on e-commerce, we help companies on ad tech or media tech, or, you know, creating solutions. One of the brands that we have under Omada as well. One thing that, you know, as we moved along into the technology is marketing became MarTech. Marketing people became very much involved in technology as well. And
I hate technology, but I need it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel that it is now the way, it is an experience. So that you have to be in marketing. And what I was fascinated about, Brame as a company is like this game tech experience that they have created. You know, young guys, Swiss, very mature, very switched on, and they've said, we want to do this because we believe in it, because we feel that gamification is the way of, you know, growth today for companies internally. And it is many ways correct, because today it's no longer about getting a new customer, it's about maintaining your customer. And, you know, what better way than gamification to create in companies is to help you, you know, control or work with your customer better and create this much, you know, dialogue with your customer. What can you do? Emails is no longer like a thing.
Newsletter, you always delete them.
You need like something that is exciting, something that is entertaining, something that is different. They feel valued at. Something quick and fast, like a dose of, you know, fun. And the gamification, you know, becomes a very nice appetite for companies to create. And with the transformation of marketing people and tech people becoming, the technology guy is very consumer driven, and the marketing guy is very tech driven, and I call them both is what we call the CPO, or the product guy. The product person today in companies is both marketing and tech. It's not a product guy before where he was a manufacturer. He understood the assembly line, or he understood the process of silk while making a clothes. That's
It's like the beginning and
design.
the end.
I don't know. I have no idea if it's going to be the end, but I feel it's a
I mean,
great
the
way.
tech is the beginning, and the end for the consumer is the marketing, the end.
Yes. I
Yeah,
thought it's
the
the end
begin-
of life. Okay.
No, no,
So
no.
yeah.
It's
So
like internal, external. You
yeah,
remember?
absolutely. So
Yeah.
it's very important that how we create marketing products today, and what we use to help companies evolve when it comes to utilization of new ideas and marketing or branding experiences. And I think gamification is a great experience for companies. And we keep saying that. I know in Switzerland, or the DACH region, it's very famous, and it's easier for people to adopt gamification. But in this region and many other markets, it's still new. It's not entirely understood what gamification is. It is sought after. It is said. It is very much desired, and it's fascinating to share this experience with Brahim, and work with young ambitious guys, and help them to come here, and start to enable them and do what we call a trade push, in roadshows, and some beyond what traditional marketing was, or selling advertising or media, and like that space of work.
But you also have to work on yourself to become better in a way where you always have to be alert. What's the next right thing to do?
Absolutely.
Especially marketing-wise.
Yes. So I come from a school where if you create a product that solves a problem, you'll succeed. But then again, without marketing, even if you create a product that solves a problem, without marketing, it won't succeed.
Yeah.
Without the right brand, without the right image, without the right characteristics, without the right, charisma between this product that you're buying and the consumer, it will not succeed. So marketing sits very highly today, and not only solving a problem, but allowing other people to see you that you are able to solve a problem is also a very important thing, and that's what creates scale. So marketing, in a way, helps you create a lot of scale as well.
Yeah. I think 5 years ago, I would never talk about this in a podcast. But now that I'm an entrepreneur by myself, I need to know all these tools and things, because it builds me up as a company, but it also helps me to understand when there is marketing, on social media, how does that work? How am I influenced by this content? And I think it's nowadays very important that you know what is going on in the marketing world if you want to build a company or a brand.
Well, look, if we take the marketing world and we change this world to our consumers, or our customers, or your listeners, or our clients, or whatever you want, to reach them, you need something. You need to get to them. And these customers, if they want to have the opportunity to follow your podcast, they have to have the first introduction to your podcast. So unless it's a demographic of 500 people around you, you have to grow that. They need to snowball you out, which means these 500 needs to get you their references, and then they grow, and then you grow like that. Yeah. Or you start acquiring new audience, or new territories, or new markets. This is for you a new audience, like you are for me a new audience as well. So collaborating with hosts, I think, is very important. Collaborating with also guests is equally even more important.
Are you giving me advice?
Yes,
now?
so it's
what to do. I love that.
So tomorrow you go to the States.
Yeah.
I saw you were in Miami. If you had a podcast in Miami with a guest in Miami.
I had it in LA. I did 12 episodes.
So that LA podcast with people in LA is a new audience for you. Yeah. Same thing in Canada, same thing in Miami, in Dubai, in Zurich, in Serbia, anywhere you want. And the idea is that's how you start building your own community.
But it's the hello world thing, I started that randomly, and now it becomes reality.
And that's your bat signal, that's your signal today, hello world, and that's what you're going to be famous for. And it's obvious that you will get to the place you want. You have the discipline and you have the commitment, and once you get there, you're just gonna try. You will find yourself more in finding topics that matter to you and guests that also matter to other people around you, and then your podcast will be more complete. Every part of your podcast will be more complete the more you do it.
I like what you said, because as I change, my content change.
Absolutely. And you will change. And if you don't change, something is wrong.
Yeah.
You have to change.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
If you're not what?
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Look, the fact that you are growing, you're also dying. But the idea is, it is important to grow, because growth allows you to learn better, to know more, to experience new things in life. And that's what we want. We need. It's interesting to find new things in life. It's interesting to meet people. It's interesting to learn new ideas. And that's being a host. Creating this podcast, I would assume is really fascinating, because you get the best of people around you.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like you're growing through them. It's like I worked with many people when they were my leaders or my CEOs, mostly CEOs. It's like I've learned great things about them, but I also learned what not to be as well. So that's very important. That shaped me in my career. And okay, that's you. I would like to pick and choose, and that's in a way evolution. You learn things that you can do that works, and you just disrupt things, or you ignore things that is not going to work. And that's the generation after you will be also better, and the generation after you will also be better. That's the kind of evolution that we're going to see.
Yeah, that's the intention that I want to put out there.
It's there. How many episodes you've done so far?
I think more than 100, but I published 77. Because sometimes I'm too perfect. I want to be too perfect, and that's what's holding me back to also put out content where I'm not 100% satisfied.
One thing I would say is perfection is great, but being real is better than being perfect.
That was the game changer 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think being real is
Once I started to talk about myself, people related to me much more, because I didn't want to do like only business and famous people. Like,
Yes.
What about the real people? What about me? So I had to cry. I had to go through shit in order to also show people that I'm normal. I'm just human. I'm not
and
pretending
approachable.
to be...
And
yeah,
on
accessible.
camera, approachable, accessible, gets people
Yeah.
to be more a nice fan base around you as well.
Yeah. Have you ever had a mentor in your life?
I don't think I've ever asked anyone to be my mentor, and I don't think anyone wanted to be my mentor. I don't know why. Maybe it's me.
Maybe you're too hard.
I don't know. Maybe I always portrayed the guy that. I think that was one of my problems maybe in life, is I always portrayed the guy that I knew everything. I wanted, no, I don't need your help. I don't need you to save me. I can save. That was the kind of personality I was. And, it was a bit like I was always stressing myself. I was always pushing myself. It's like, no, I don't need you. I can do it myself. But that's also in a way gave me confidence, gave me a lot of, shaping myself, to be only, trusting myself. If I want to do something, I'm the only one who's going to be capable of doing it.
It starts with you.
Yeah, it starts with me. Is this bad? I would have loved help. I would have loved somebody just to throw something at me. But I think that didn't happen. But equally, what happens if I have had a lot of support? I've had great support from people. Even when I failed, even when I didn't do the right thing, I've had people to support you. And that shows the intentions, the reality of, the right people that were around me. Yeah. And one thing I'm always thankful for is the wrong people always have a short life with me.
Oh, I like that.
I was fortunate by
like a
everyone
sandwich.
wrong that was around me had a very short expiry date. And that was for me extremely a bless. And I think that was the biggest gift I have. I had basically. And so in a way, it wasn't like a mentor. It was an experience that I've faced and I still face, as I'm fortunate to have great people around me. Now, there's always, you work with the wrong people, you hire somebody bad, you have a very toxic colleague. But, it doesn't matter, that's, part of who they are. Now, that's not part of who I am. And it helps you identify also what you shouldn't be in life. So finding, toxic people around you, negative people around you, doesn't necessarily is bad. It just allows you tells you, okay, listen, Patrick, or hello world, That is not bad to see bad things or bad people around you. That is a way for you to not to be. So that's like a reminder for you not to be like this person or like having this attitude and so forth. So in a way, the world or the life was a mentor, you know, and then you see examples of leaders in this country, and you know you start to respect how they treat, how their behavior is, and you feel blessed that you're fortunate being in a place like Dubai, where it's like the kindness and the maturity and the focus and the discipline is extremely high, where that enough is a great lesson in life for you to try to at least match it.
You had the drive and the fire here because everyone has a business. Everyone is working on themselves.
And I think I have the drive and the mental focus is because I have the competition as well.
You need that for your ego?
Not for my ego. I think I need that because, you know, you don't want to be like complacent. I think the word is you just want, I mean, the work here is very competitive. And it's good competition. It's not like dirty competition. It's healthy competition. I mean, even in Dubai, there were brands made in Dubai that were competing with each other. But that was made out of intention to do better than the other. And that's how like they kept people on their toes. And I like that. And there's no shame in being in competition. It's
healthy.
Today, if we have a company that there's no competitor and we don't have the mindset, we will eventually get somebody to overcome us. But if we have a competitor, having a competition makes you better. I mean, look at every single sport. If there's no competition, there's no fun. If there's no competition, there's no progress. If there's no competition, there's no innovation. And I think competition is a best way for you to find these great tools or great mindsets for you to grow in life. I see innovation when there's competition. I see growth when there's competition. I see challenge when there's competition. It's very difficult to keep challenging and competing with yourself. It's very difficult. And I feel actually that's what Dubai does, just competes with itself. Nobody can beat it. You know, God bless this country, this city. You know, the idea is like, and I keep saying that, it's like Dubai competes with itself because it's second to none, to me at least.
Yeah.
And for businesses, it's different. For businesses, competition is healthy. For brands, it's healthy. I mean, the marketing life has been created because of competition. The word branding has been identified to be better from a characteristic versus your competitor, you know, and the whole idea of how branding and marketing started was to defy competition or be better than your, you know, the product that is selling the same service or the same ingredients as you are.
Yeah.
You know, marketing was not created to be better at what you do because you are alone.
You need that.
It's healthy.
Help each other, actually.
Absolutely. And and we live in a world where you need like to be on your feet, you need to be like relaxed, you know, and
but copy paste never works.
Look, I think if you create a brand that doesn't need a competitor, it should be given out for free. It's like medicine. It's like if you have a company, if you're doing something that nobody else have, you have to give it for free. You have to gift it. It's like vaccine. It's like a medical miracle, or it's like something that is given for granted. If it is something that nobody else can create, I feel you need to give it for free. I feel you have obliged. The consumers should not pay for it.
But why? I mean, that's so new to me now.
It's a gift. It's like a gift. You have a miracle. You're doing a miracle, basically. You're doing something nobody else can do.
Oh,
and I think you as a consumer, you should not pay for it. It should be like something paid by governments or something, but like paid by philanthropy or something else.
Yeah.
You know, nothing exists without competition.
Because it's so good, it doesn't need to have like a cash flow.
It shouldn't have a business anymore. If something is the only, everything, money has competition. The currency has a competitor. The currency, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the commodities have competition. Everything has competition today. The nature have competition. The countries have competitions. The land here is different. Everything is competing on everything. Mm-hmm. There's nothing competing, you know. But if you look at the sky, you're not competing with anything. It's for free. You know, it's like given. It's gifted. You're not gonna pay to look at the sky, correct?
Yeah.
You're not gonna pay to look at a tree. You're not gonna pay to look at someone else.
And these things calm you down. Whatever is for free, it calms you down.
Imagine you're gonna pay to talk to a friend.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
But then our mind
Yeah.
also appreciates much more if you have to pay for something. Because if it's for free, you don't value
you
it.
take it for granted. And I
Yeah.
think that's also in your culture, in your upbringing, in your mindset. I feel that things that you harm most in life are things that you take for granted. Because they are for granted. Like your health, like your self-love, like your mental wellness, like your family, like the closest people around you. You take everything for granted, and that's who you end up harming the most in life. But if you pay for something, you want to take care of it because you worked for it.
Yeah.
And I think we are in a place where we feel that, no, let's just take a few steps back. Say, no, these people are more important in my life. My family is very important. My health is more important. My mental wellness is more important. That's where like you see this move into mindsets, move into, self-love, move into self-awareness. And that's why we're not taking it for granted anymore. I mean, like you were explaining today how healthy you exercise and all these things.
Maybe
you don't
too
take
extreme for you.
I started fasting, a year, and it's like the best thing. It's like part of, prizing myself with food. For me, a prize is having food. It's the easiest thing for anyone. For me, it's when I eat, it's a prize.
Yeah.
And that's for me what fasting have created, is this appreciation that this meal is a gift that I'm having it, and that's how it changed my way of dealing with food, my
Your
dealing with
relationship
health.
to food has
Absolutely. I mean, it's fascinating, and we see that a lot in this modern times. And that is the result of things that happened in the past 20, 30 years. One of them is digital transformation, social media, technology, work, pressure, competition. That's the result of these things.
Yeah.
That's like the breakthrough of, okay, let me shift my mindset into something that actually matters to myself alone. Now we need 3 good friends rather than 50. Now we need a day where nobody can call us. Now I want to sit alone on a farm and like just do nothing. I wrote something about the art of nothing. It's like one of the most important things in life is how to do nothing. And the act of nothing for me is the act of something. So it's very important you see more people knowing or loving to spending time alone or loving spending time with themselves. You never had that. It was socially unacceptable. It was unacceptable in families.
Because they don't want to sit down and talk to themselves or figuring out what the problem is that they're actually facing in their life. Everyone is always working on something.
They never accepted who they are. Yeah. They're like always, some people used to hide, some people used to like have a shadow, or like they used to have like a wall in front of them. Now there's a lot of realization of self-love. You've never had more people exercising than you have today, ever in history. It's impossible.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. It's insane what is happening. I mean, here alone in this part of the world, especially in Dubai, go to the gym anytime, you'll see anyone. Any sport that starts, like, boom, becomes like a hit list. Everybody is so much wanting to be fit. Fit became the new sexy. Doesn't need to be a fit by meaning of having a good shape. Is being in shape doesn't necessarily mean having a good shape. Being in shape is like being fit, being healthy, waking up, satisfying your energy, exercising, lifestyle, all of these things. Some people will be fortunate in looking fantastic. Some people will not, but they both are fit, Yeah. I think that lifestyle or that mindset became very aggressive and like a sought after mindset here. I mean, how many coaches are around you? It's crazy.
A lot.
I mean, we all know like so many coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're working on yourself right now? Maybe food-wise, lifestyle changed, work-wise? Is there anything that you're facing right now to improve in your life?
Fasting was very difficult.
It started last year,
it was crazy.
My biggest respect. You do 20 hours of fasting.
Yeah, I do 20, maybe a bit more, but the idea is fasting was very difficult. It's just like changed my mindset. I started with 18:6, what I thought like was very difficult, and then I started like just to eat once a day, and it doesn't matter. Food is no longer a thing in my head, It's like a timer. I have to eat at this time. I have to eat. It's not like I even want to eat. It changed from being a desire to a need, which is fantastic, and that's what you want food to be.
But isn't that interesting how you can see for yourself that we are surrounded by snacks and all these products 24/7, and then you have to say no, 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 but you know when it's your right time to eat.
Well, I mean, it's like this same thing. I mean, you're surrounded by greed. You're surrounded by hate. Also, you just decide not to do it. Same thing. I think looking at something that is on the shelf doesn't necessarily make you have the need to take it out. Yeah. And I think the grave, to grave something is very toxic as well. You don't need to. Food is a necessity. It's not okay. You eat. And in necessity, you try to make it more fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like to have like my own meal the way I want, like the way I want to experience it, and that's fun for me. Mm-hmm. But it's not like I'm having it every day, And this world of snacks, I personally, I've never had, these chocolate bars since I was a kid, but that was my lifestyle. That was like from my parents.
Yeah.
Even now, I only have dark chocolate. It's horrible. But for me, it's that bitterness is actually its taste.
I like that too.
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
And then you mix it with some nuts. Yeah. I mean, I would like to have a bag of nuts instead of any, confectionery. I was so big on cornflakes. Cereal for me.
Marketing.
Cereal for me was that's the health itself. Now I haven't had cereal. I mean, in ages, my kids don't have cereal. I mean, we just don't adopt it in the house.
Yeah.
They would have almonds, walnuts. I mean, these things are natural, natural energies, natural fat, natural protein, and it helps. It's even tastier, when you get used to it,
It's fascinating how we always go back to the simplicity.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, a nice lettuce tastes much better than any good salads, a good lettuce, a good... Something that is healthy, that is rich with ingredients, natural, is much better than a lot of other mixes.
And you see, this doesn't even need to be promoted because it's so good. It's for free. Everything else.
It's much cheaper than a lot of other things.
And they put a lot of marketing into the bad stuff because they need to be promoted like other things that I would never touch.
Look, I think the world of snacks is its simplicity of its intake. I can just open the packaging and eat it. Mm-hmm. And that's, this laziness of lifestyle became people addictive with snacks. And the more you snack them, the more you want them. Yeah. If you want to buy almonds, you're going to go back home or you're going to wash them. You're going to either put them in the freezer or hold them or remove the peel. It's an experience to eat it. If you're going to take a lettuce, you're going to take it home, you're going to wash it, a lot of rushing water. If you're going to get a tomato, you need to cut it. If you're going to get steak, you need to grill it. If you're going to get fish, you need to put it on it. So natural food requires time to prepare. Snacks don't. And I think that is the marketing aspect, biggest marketing aspect of snacks. It's called snacks because it's immediate. It's ready to eat.
Yeah, you're right.
It's ready to eat.
I never thought about that.
And that's the biggest selling proposition is you off the shelf.
It's not time consuming. It's right here.
The only time you consume is by eating it, not by actually...
And then you feel bad because of the calorie intakes, because it's so high in the calories.
No one ever ate anything in the snacks category or in the carbonated category that did not feel bad after it. Not immediate after it. The satisfaction of immediate, gratification is there, but if you eat something that is not healthy, eventually you're not gonna even
Shout
smoking.
Out to
everything,
you, Patrick. You're so right. Everything what is like this, you have a bad feeling afterwards.
I mean, there is a lot of unnecessary in it. I mean, having one once in a while, enjoying yourself, having your cheat food habits, it's okay. Mm-hmm. When it becomes an addiction, when it becomes a necessity in your life, I think that's where we hold back and just reassess what you're putting inside. I mean, you won't see it today. And the fact is that you won't see it. Go back into the question we've discussed, or the point is taking it for granted. Is you taking your body for granted. And that's one of the biggest unself-love that you are actually doing.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I could continue this podcast for another couple of hours.
We'll have round two.
Yeah, and you know what? You are the first guest who had a coffee break with me before the actual recording. I never do this because I like to get to know you in the recording. But it was mind-blowing what you shared with me from your personal life as well and your success so far. And, this is like not even 1% of who you are as a person. And this is so fascinating.
Thank you very much. This is very kind of you. I think there's much more to do. I mean, I haven't achieved anything I wanted yet in life. I've done a lot of great things. I've done a lot of stupid things. I've made a lot of mistakes. Some I learned from, some I haven't. And it's just an amazing ride, That's my journey. That's my experience, To others, it's ridiculous. To others, it's great. For me, it's just like, it is what it is. That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping what I'm doing. I'm being very sane about it. I'm trying to do it better. Mm-hmm. I'm adopting the zero mindset. I'm trying to adopt something new in life, which we'll hopefully discuss if we have a chance another time.
We have to.
Yeah, I like eliminating the negatives in life. I'm trying to be that kind of person, to be that person that is kind. And hopefully, it will make me, I'm getting close to being 50. And hopefully that will be like my 50-year-old mentality and above. It's very hard to say 50, but it's I'm accepting it as I go.
But you don't feel like 50.
I don't know. No. I don't. I mean, I used to feel like 50 like 5 years ago. Now I feel like more 40.
Yeah. I'm happy for you. I
Thank
really
you very
am.
much. Thank you very much.
And this time we had the opportunity to record something in Dubai.
Yes.
And next time, hopefully, in my hometown in Zurich.
I would love that.
I want to know
my second
all
hometown.
about your second home and also your zero mindset. I really want to know how to narrow down everything what is in my head down to zero, which seems to be impossible, but you found a way to make it happen.
Found a way to adopt the process.
Okay.
I don't think I found an answer to becoming zero. I think becoming the whole experience around becoming zero rather than reaching zero.
Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you
Patrick, when people want to work on for their company on marketing purpose and so on, they can contact you.
They can contact me.
All around the
world. We have many services that we do for the region. We're experts in about the regional consumer e-commerce. We have a company for e-commerce. We have a company for advertising and ad tech, media services. We have our own affiliate marketing products. We have a shopper destination, and obviously gamification. It's a great tool that we have called Brain as well. So there's a lot of ways we can work with companies from international to this region as well.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
I can't believe that I'm recording here in Dubai and I have the honor to sit down and talk to Patrick. And I just want to tell you guys, everything is possible. I know I started with Hello World years ago and I already recorded here in Dubai, in Switzerland, in Germany, soon in Serbia, then in LA. I mean, it's really around the world. And you taught me that you just have to believe in yourself and keep going with everything what is coming, like your ups and downs, it's shaping you. And when the time is right, then you shine.
Success just is gonna be instant. And just get ready for it.
Okay, it's not a snack because you have to prepare.
Absolutely.
Oh, I like that.
That's very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye, Dubai. And thank you for your time.